Alrighty, here we go. Game number 1, Nicov v. theViper, 1v1 Arabia. Going to see Koreans action. Wait for the ratings to load here, but we're going to see some really, really high 1v1 numbers. This is about as good as it gets for 1v1 rated games on Voobly. Okay, the Viper here right off the bat, if you look at his initial base, he's got a lot of structure to work with. He can totally wall in that front side if he wants. He could block his entire area in pretty easily. See if he ends up doing that. Gold off to the side might be a little tricky to defend with those initial walls, but we will see how the Viper deals with that in the late feudal age. For now, it's Koreans v. Koreans. It's 2384 versus 2407 ratings. Both players coming in with an incredible amount of success as of late on the old Voobly. Nicov will be Koreans as well. Back gold for Nicov. A little bit more of a standard Arabia map. It's relatively open. He does have some opportunities to wall. This ridgeline is definitely going to need a wall of houses or something on top of it. Main stone off to the side. Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. A little bit more challenging of a map for Nicov to close in and defend himself, but I like his gold position better. I think he can probably protect his gold fairly nicely if you compare that to the Viper. The Viper's gold here is a little bit awkward. It's downhill. Needs to establish a presence on top of this hill and keep a presence on top of that hill, at least one would think. Anyway, working our way here through the early game. We're doing this game live on Twitch. This is Killer B. I'll probably throw this up on the old YouTubes as well. Yeah, just watching some cool rated games. We are into the month of December here on the channel. We're, I don't know, moving onward and upward, getting older, not quite getting wiser. Okay, 3 vills out on wood for the Viper. We'll check on Nikov's wood eco. Nikov's been looking around for the right wood line. Yeah, notably, he's going to be taking wood here on the front as well. This wood line isn't too bad, but it's certainly rather thin. Be a lot of bumping later in the game. I think he's going to walk all the way to the front here. So yeah, Nicov is certainly going to have a bit of a map disadvantage as far as closing in his walls, protecting his front wood. We shall see how he does with all of that. Okay, going to fast forward here for just a moment. You will note that Viper has 4 vills on wood, is luring in boars as we speak. Both players luring in boars, I should say. 4 on wood for both players. Potentially an early bit of aggression from the 2 Koreans foes here. Luring in that boar as we speak. This game is going to start relatively about the same as every other game. Viper scouting out his side very intensely. Nikov's going forward. Nikov's going to have to figure out maybe something to do a little bit aggressively in this game. I'll have to wait and see, but you would think a bit of aggression here from the green player would help him out a lot. If he could put some pressure on these front golds, he might be able to keep the Viper from hitting him too hard back at home. Hard to say, though. We'll have to see what decision Nicov makes. I'm pretty sure he will choose the most effective option. So yeah, the Viper is back. He's playing pretty intensely after returning from China. Those games, ooh, look at this. Viper's board getting a little unruly. Looks like he'll lure it back in toward the TC. No worries. Yeah, the Viper's been playing lots of games, streaming a lot, providing us a lot of cool stuff to watch. He's the player of the month this month on the channel. And yeah, very excited to say that we will be putting a few coins in the Viper's purse. Here we go. Barracks coming up on the front. Interestingly, not on top of that hill, at the bottom of that hill. Maybe a little bit of a wall is going to be made up to the top at some point here from the Viper. I don't quite know. Okay, Nicov is scouting forward. He's getting an idea of what the Viper is up to. He's dropping a barracks of his own. So it looks like we will probably see a drush from both players. I don't know. Barracks are coming up pretty late. Yeah, this barracks is going to come up. Nikov's going to grab loom, and he's going to go up. Never you mind what I just said. He's not going to have the gold to build 3 militia, but he can build militia in the transition if he wants. It would seem like the strategy he would be going with. Nicov clicks up. He's going to be on 21 vills. The Viper will loom up, and then maybe he will be clicking up here relatively soon. Viper sends 2 over to gold. Potentially indicative of men-at-arms here early. Hard to say. We will find that out very soon. Nicov has nobody on gold from what I've seen. Oh, 2 vills going over to gold for Nicov. Okay, so Viper goes 22, pop up, probably men-at-arms. Nicov is going to do the same. Hello, Hightower. Hightower's here. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so right now, Koreans v. Koreans. Yeah, and here's that bit of aggression potentially coming forward for Nicov. Is that true? We'll have to wait and see here, but 4 vills seem to be walking kind of out in no man's land. Nicov may come forward and tower his opponent and have a few men-at-arms potentially to back that up. Nikov's going to send 4 vills forward. Back at home, he's going to be finishing up his sheep. No farms built yet, so he's saved quite a lot of wood on his side of the map. He will have 2 vills on gold for the time being, and that is about it. Viper's side still chewing through sheep as well. Notably, no farms for the Viper either. Viper is 2 on gold as well. And militia rolling out for Mr. Viper. Okay, I hear a little bit of fighting. Maybe, yep, looks like a wolf involved here early. Not too big of a deal. Viper is going to be pretty close to Nikov's troops here. He may be able to follow that army all the way home. May be able to anticipate this. Viper's Drush coming in. Nicov with a pretty massive numbers advantage since he has those 4 vills alongside the couple militia and the scout. Should be just fine there to push Viper's Drush back. Viper might bring his Drush back. He's going to bring it right back to the gold pile here. Not sure. He wants the hill bonus, I suppose, but I don't see a good fight in the future for the Viper here at all. Looks like he's going to be basically in retreat for some time. Men-at-Arms coming in for both players. Maybe the Viper's waiting for his Man-at-Arms, hoping to get it in first, but his is actually going to be a little after Nicov. So Nicov will get Men-at-Arms. He will get the top of this hill. Maybe we will see a tower right around this spot. Oh man, that would be absolutely devastating to the Viper's gold eco. Hey, that's a good spot too. He's going to drop it right next to the Viper's barracks. 4 vills building there. This might be the time for the Viper to strike. Wow, that sounded poetic almost. Archery range coming in for the yellow player. The Viper can get in here with a bit of an advantage because he's got the 2 vills added in with his man-at-arms, but Nicov is not going to take that engagement. He's going to walk him around and keep him busy. Watchtower should be completed here in just a few seconds. And it seems like Nikov's going to be fine. He's got the numbers still. The Viper's only got 2 vills here in the mix. Tower is up, and this is not going to go too well for the Viper unless he can somehow get all of those men-at-arms down. Right now, he's going to be about equal on men-at-arms. Nicov is going to... Ooh, Nikov's going to pop out, and he's going to kill the last one. Okay, good. Good thing for Nicov, rather. Not necessarily good. I guess I shouldn't be too biased, but hopefully we see Nicov play a good game here since he has such a bad map. Double range is coming for the yellow player. So Nikov's tower will stand for the time being. You can see he's going to drop another. If we look back at home, he's actually got 6 villagers on... Nope. For a moment, it looked like he had 6 vills there on stone. That would be absolutely crazy. He will have 3 on stone. He will continue to build towers, come forward. You can see that he's added a few more men-at-arms into the mix, but not too many. Viper is immediately going to go to skirms. Skirmishers are kind of the unit of choice in tower aggression. They're cheap, they're trashy, they let you get up to the castle age sometimes, a little before your opponent. Viper here is definitely going to need to slow the tower rush. He's going to do that by dropping a tower of his own right behind those ranges. His will be up first because he's committed many, many villagers to it, and his skirms... a little bit out of range. They could have thrown a couple of javelins at these vills and slowed down their build. However, I didn't check the foundation. Hopefully the Viper did. This is an outpost. That is not a tower. Interestingly, though, Nicov is going to still drop a tower on the other side of that range. He made the Viper commit to a defensive tower here, and I'm very curious as to why he wants his tower here. He could have just walked away and let the Viper's tower there basically waste up the initial stone from the yellow player. Okay, well, we'll see how this goes. Nicov is going to probably finish his tower here, but he's not going to keep it up for too long. He's going to have to abandon it eventually. Viper will walk under that tower with his skirms. Viper's actually going to rush that down, committing 6 vills here early, and that tower's going to drop lickety-split. Very, very quick tower drop there from the Viper. I'm not sure what Nicov was thinking with putting this one down, but for the moment, he will control the Viper's gold, and that is what is probably most important to him. Still 2 vills on gold for Nicov, 5 vills over on stone, thinking maybe about getting even more aggressive with the tower creep. You can see that although Nicov has a bad map, he is unharassed at this point. He's kept the Viper very busy. He's wide open to raiding. Viper probably knows a little bit about his map. No, not much. He actually doesn't know very much at all. That is a little unfortunate. I think if the Viper knew a bit more, he would... well, he needs to stop the tower creep for now. But soon, he will probably go to Nicov and do some pretty good damage if he lasts that long. Nikov's actually splitting the villagers up. 3 vills are going to go one direction and drop a tower. 1 vill is going to go the long way around the wood line. Maybe that's just an accident in pathing. But that vill is going to be in some trouble. She's walking straight toward a bunch of skirmishers as we speak. Thanks for the follow, Foe. Yeah, this Vil is going to go down for free. That's a... Well, is she? Is she, though? Yeah, she's going to go down, right? 1 HP? Yeah, she's dead. Unfortunately, she's going to go down for free. The other 3 are going to go back and retreat. This tower is not going to be finished, and Nikov's early aggression is fizzled, but remaining back behind it are 2 towers in series so they can protect each other that both take away the gold piles from the Viper. If you see, there's some yellow up here on the map, though. Viper finding one of those extra gold piles in the back, and he is pretty happily taking that gold. 4 Vils back there. So for the Viper, you know, getting up to the Castle Age is going to be very useful if he can do so. He will definitely be able to rush down those towers pretty easily, win back his gold. We can see Nicov is queuing up units in his stable. He's going to have 2 scouts coming out as we speak. Those are going to do very, very well to deal with the skirmishers here from the Viper. So Viper's not going to get a whole lot done with those skirms. I think they're going to get chewed up and spit out pretty quickly by scouts. Still 3 on stone for Nicov. He's back up to 100 stone. He doesn't have any villagers forward, but you can see he's building the odd defensive tower. Notably, probably should have noted this a little sooner, but we do see the free tower upgrade in the Castle Age with Koreans. So these guys can build towers as much as they want. They're at least going to be buff and beefy towers in the next age. The only problem is, of course, 3 Vils on stone all this time is going to take away some resources from Nicov, especially those sweet resources that he could use to get up to the next age. For now, however, Nicov has defended a pretty crappy map with a decent strategy. He's gone forward, he's been annoying, he's actually sending some more Vils forward. Only thing I don't like about this is that some of these Vils are not on full HP. This Vil especially is rather weak, and it could end up hurting him a little bit. We'll see. For now, he's going to be rebuilding that tower. Not sure where he's planning to creep to or creep from with that, but maybe toward the Viper's woodline on the top. If we look at Nikov's Fog of War, he knows that there's a mill there, but there isn't a whole lot else for him to harass on that side. The next bit that he could go toward, I guess, is Viper's woodline here. That would be a decent place to tower. Maybe another tower here somewhere. Yeah, not sure about that location. But anyway, 5 Vils forward for Nicov. A couple of scouts as well. He's rather all in for this tower push right now. He is dropping towers everywhere. Viper's going to have a defensive tower here. He's got 3 Vils on stone as well. I didn't notice that, but hey, there you go. That's why we do it live here. Looks like the Viper's tower should go up at actually a little slower. He's only got 4 Vils accessible to that tower. And because of that, his is going to be a little bit slower than his opponent's. Viper's going to chop a little bit of wood in the meantime. Does he have another wood line? Yeah, the Viper's got another wood line on the other side that is safe. But for now, those scouts still roaming around trying to do some damage. They've actually found the villagers out here on the stone. Viper's going to take that fight. He will lose a villager there. A couple of spears will probably push Nicov away for now. And we will see towers v towers on that side. Nikov's tower is actually beefier. He's got 5 villagers. Garrison, the Viper's only got 3. Okay, so Nicov running scouts through, building up towers, grabbing wheelbarrow, getting very close to being able to click up. The Viper on the other side will be clicked up just a little bit sooner than his opponent. I think that the Viper will click up a little sooner, but probably not significantly sooner. Another thing to keep an eye on is that Nikov's tower here is actually doing a hell of a job. 5 Vils inside there still doing work. Okay, scouts will roam in. Another villager going down, not quite. Viper is trying to defend against Nicov, who is inciting quite a bit of chaos, but this back gold pile is still totally safe. Nicov has not scouted that back gold. He scouted close to it, but didn't quite get there, so the Viper hiding in the Fog of War for now. I would imagine that Nicov expects Viper to be selling some stone for gold, and therefore maybe he's not searching as diligently for that extra gold pile as we might hope he would. We get to hope that because we get to see everything from the sky. But I think in actuality, I think it's probably a very normal decision to have those scouts not really searching around for that extra gold. Viper trying to repair, Nicov putting on pressure here. I'm loving the aggression from Nicov. He will get out of dodge there just in time to get away from the spear, and the tower fight will continue. Castle Age coming for the Viper. He's going to be there 1 minute and 10 seconds before his opponent. If we look on his side of the map, he's still got double ranges. He's starting to build up a stable. He's going to get scale barding, so we're going to see a bit of a unit transition here from the Viper. Going to be able to add in some knights and probably help rush down some of these towers if he wants, or maybe even go in and hit Nicov right off the bat. See what the Viper decides to do. Nicov is still going to roll with a one stable build for the time being, and that is it. Still 4 villagers on stone for Nicov, a couple hundred stone in the bank. So potentially more towers to come, or a castle here at some point for Mr. Nicov. Nicov will take the Viper's tower down. He will win this wood line for now. Viper will abandon it. 5 vills headed back home for Nicov. Nicov runs in with his scout and kills a vill. Free keep upgrade, or guard tower upgrade rather, is in. And we will see the green player continue to work through this game, which he's done pretty well to defend a bad map, keep his opponent on the defensive. Yeah, we'll see if this works out for Mr. Nicov. 5 vills coming back, actually 6 vills coming back for Nicov as we speak. The Viper will initially put out a couple of knights. Looks like the first one and maybe even the second one, they might be headed toward this tower. They might be headed toward that tower, but Nikov's still putting pressure on with a scout here and there, trying to pick off a low HP farmer in that particular case. Okay, Nikov's got a ton of food and a bit of gold in the bank, lots of stone to go with it. Viper's got a lot of stone as well, maybe a castle coming soon from the Viper. But as we speak, Viper's knights are going to start going forward, +2 defense on those. He's going to have a couple spearmen left behind to deal if there are a few more scouts from Nicov, but for now, the focus has shifted to offense. The Viper could rush down this tower relatively quickly with a knight, but I think he feels pretty safe. That tower isn't really damaging any resource piles, so I guess it's all good. TC trying to come up for Nicov. He's going to try to quick wall out the Viper's initial knights, and Nicov will do it. That is really nice quick walling. All those quick palisades will hold the Viper out for now. A couple vills running around for Nicov toward the keep. TC will eventually be completed. Viper's knights are going to be matched now by Nicov, who has 2 knights as well. Nikov's knights have +1 damage, +1 defense. Viper with just the defense upgrades. I shouldn't say just, but Viper prioritizing the defense upgrades. The Viper's got a skirmisher in the back here, which is kind of pointless, but he's going to at least do his tiny amount of damage while he can. Viper running 1 knight around to distract that knight and sending his 2nd knight in, but so far, not a whole lot of villagers. Really annoyed by the Viper. Nicov with 20 idols, I suppose on the top side. 2 more knights have come in, and it looks like both the TC and that keep will be garrisoned for the time being. So the Viper is 5 villagers behind. I don't see him grabbing any vills here, but I do see him idling a lot of the workforce, making those workers go on strike, notably on the front. Nikov's 2 keeps are still alive, and they are still taking away the Viper's main gold. Viper's gold piles on the back. There might be about maybe 2.5k gold left there. TC coming up for the Viper on the stone on this side. He's going to try to keep toe-to-toe with Nikov's vill count. Actually, 3 TCs total for the yellow player. Okay, so the Viper has 10 knights, Nicov only with 6 at the moment. Bosa gold mining coming in, 3rd TC coming in, Nicov grabbing relics as we speak. Therefore, he has a monastery up, and he's got a monk or 2 out on the field to help deter these knights. Let's see if that monk gets into action here. Sometimes just the sound of a monk can chase an entire army away, but right now Nikov's TC denied those knights roaming in, and we will see how much they can get done. Oh boy, Nikov's going to just run his monk right in there without even making the wololo noise. At the moment, villagers going down. Viper is starting to pull Nicov back down to his level. 54 vills for Nicov, 50 for the Viper, and we'll see that number continue to drop here for the green player. Okay, Nicov chased off of stone as well. Viper still floating about 500. Nicov still floating about 350 stone. Neither player able to build a castle just yet, but maybe we will see some war wagons at some point later in this game. Okay, knights running around chasing each other. 53 vills, dead even. Villager counts are equal. Military counts are very similar. I think I would put this so far, you know, the Viper's got maybe a bit of momentum on his side, but you gotta appreciate Nikov's ability to be equal with the Viper at this point in the game with such a bad early map. Shouldn't say that it was that bad, but certainly not a good starting map. And it looks like for now he's getting close to stabilizing it. Guard tower up. Maybe he'll do a little bit of walling on top of this ridge line and keep that even safer. Okay, Nikov's towers on the front are starting to get rushed down by the Viper. Viper sending in battering ram, a battering ram for now. That siege workshop is going to be over on this far hill. Okay, keep that location in mind. Could be useful. Monastery coming up for the Viper as we speak. Knights chasing knights across the map at the moment. +2 defense for the Viper. Still +1/+1 for Nicov. Viper rushing down towers with a couple of knights here. He might be able to get that down, but I think Nikov's knights can probably get in here and push him away. Nikov's knights could go in and push him away, but they're going to leave that tower, I suppose, for now. And it looks like they might be headed straight toward the ram. Everybody's racing toward that ram. Nikov's got one more tower within range of both of these gold piles. Viper's ram here is going to be taken down pretty quickly, one would assume. Knights running in. Should be able to finish the job here pretty quick. And for now, we will see the Viper needing to invest in another ram, which makes his delay in getting his main gold even longer. Looking back to that second gold pile, there is still about 1,200 gold left there, but that number is going to be continuously dropping throughout this game, and it's going to put a little bit of stress on the Viper. If he can't win back these gold piles soon, he's going to be in some trouble. Viper is going to use the remaining knights. He's pushed Nicov away with his group of knights, and this is looking really good for him. That tower is going to go down very quickly. Nicov with just 4 knights in the proximity. He's actually got more coming, and he's going to try to do a little damage here while the Viper's focused on that. Mass exodus of villagers here from the Viper. Seems like a castle should be dropped somewhere soon. Castle coming up on top of the hill. So the Viper will not only win back his gold, but he will stabilize it with a castle. That's going to be great for him, and this huge number of villagers is probably more than he would need just to drop this castle. But of course, you know, all those villagers are going to be enlisted into gold mining here in just a moment. So it is totally cool to send all those vills forward to do that. I think it's a good choice for him. Still taking stone is the Viper. Nicov is back at home still with 3 on stone. Okay, so Koreans v Koreans standing toe-to-toe, about 75 vills each. Very close villager counts for the time being. Knights from the Viper are in about 15 for numbers, and Nikov's got about 17 units. He's got exactly 17 units at the moment. Those two guys just doing a little flirtation. Nobody's really got an army that's appropriate to stand toe-to-toe with the other. It would be a pretty even fight, and I think for now both players are going to be a little conservative. Okay, Viper is still building up lumber camps, still getting everything going. This back gold pile has saved his bunions in this game. He's going to basically mine that out very shortly. You can see all of these villagers on the front going over to gold. Maybe thinking about a more gold-heavy military here in a moment. Stables for the Viper are idle right now. Ranges are idle right now. Castle is idle as well. So we're not seeing units coming in from any of those buildings from the Viper. Okay, booming up his eco, I suppose. You can see that he's doing pretty well to spend his resources as he goes. Nicov will have a couple of monks, couple of knights on the front. He may start to make another push here relatively soon. Nicov with a 1 vill advantage. 3 TCs rocking and rolling. He's going to drop a university as we speak. He is building up a bit of a makeshift wall across the top of that wood line. Nikov's still without a castle for the time being. And the stables, barracks, they're all idle at the moment. So neither player building much of a military at the time being. They are going to take a brief hiatus. Nikov's going to use those resources to go imp. Viper is trying to use those resources, I think, to continue to build out his eco. A little bit of an intense build at the moment, but yeah, stables and ranges both idle for the time being. Okay, so no real direct note of anything really changing. Looks like these guys are going to stay with knights for the time being. Nicov doesn't have a whole lot of stables here. Looks like he's got 1-2 stables at the moment. He's going to grab heavy plow, handcart. He will go imperial very soon. And maybe we will see those knights continue to be upgraded. Looks like villagers coming forward. Castle on this hill. Nice. I like that location. Takes away the gold pile, and it will use the hill advantage. I like it. I like it. Viper is coming forward with a castle of his own. He's going to just now finish off Nikov's last keep. He's going to try to get that down. Nikov's got some knights here, though, and it might be enough to deter the Viper. We will see how this particular fight goes. Looks like the Viper will wall in most of those vills, actually using Nikov's houses. Interesting. Nicov with a couple of houses there that were protecting that tower. The Viper at the moment does have a piece of stone wall. His castle is probably going to go up. Nicov hits the Imperial. Look at this, though. He'll drop a guard tower in front of the castle to put a little pressure on these vills. From range, monks coming in, they will probably get 4 conversions. The Viper here is walking into a really bad situation. And we can see 2 of those monks getting a convert. It looks like, man, it looks like all 4 of them did in the end. Nicov will lose a couple of his vills that were building that keep. The Viper must have this castle. If that castle gets denied, this is really a huge problem for the Viper. Viper putting a ton of resources into getting this up. He's on 76%, and he's going to abandon it. Nicov has broken through that small back door that the Viper had. Viper will lose 4 vills. He'll lose his castle. This is really, really bad. That engagement from Nicov was brilliant. 4 conversions, and he did a great job to really flip the Viper's army and deny the castle and probably kill all of those villagers as well. Okay, dead even villager count. Viper on the way to Imperial, Nicov on the way to Cavalier. Chemistry coming for Nicov as well. Scale Mail and Pikeman for the Viper. Viper is just going to try to build out some trash to hold the line here. He's got to find a way to turn this game back around. Right now, Knights are being spread throughout his eco. Just 1 War Wagon at the moment, but maybe we'll see more soon. Nikov's going to send 4 or 5 Knights over here, 4 or 5 Knights over there. Viper calls GG, and Nicov will get the win here in Game 1. Absolutely did have the win. This is an absolutely justified GG. All these knights running through this eco are just going to absolutely dice things to pieces. The Viper there saw the writing on the wall. This castle engagement was the end of the end for the Viper, but notably, Nicov did do a great job early with his towers to keep the Viper very busy, took away this gold for a long time, and really bought himself a bunch of time to wall in his map. In the end, I think it was a very, very clean game from Nicov, who might have been playing with a little bit less of a good map. Granted, he took advantage of the Viper's 1 weak resource, which was this front gold, and got the win. So great start to this series. We'll see Nicov go up 1-0, and hopefully you guys join me for game number 2. These guys are going to rematch on Arabia. Random civs. I think the next game is actually Huns.